candy cane come on.
I knew it!
How we all love candy. While candy companies are constantly coming up with new ideas and new flavors, much to all of our delights, sometimes they take a step backward and discontinue our favorite candy. While that is a tragedy, there is some glimmer of hope. Here are 10 discontinued candies that are back. Part 2.
I still love candy.
Thin Mints.
Where'd you get those? The machine? You want one? No. Here.
In these hard financial times that we find ourselves in, even candy companies can struggle. That's what happened to candy giants Necco. In 2018, the production company that is known as the New England Confectionery Company, Necco for short, shut its doors and closed for business permanently. Many candy fans cried in despair as Necco produced so many great candies.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows.
What would happen to them now? Fortunately for Thin Mints, and also for Mighty Malts, the cancellation and the short time spent in limbo are over as they are back. Thanks to the Log House Foods Company in Plymouth, Minnesota, these popular candies have been saved, as Log House Foods bought them off Necco and began manufacturing them almost instantly. The production may have been slow and the wait time may have been long, but Thin Mints and Mighty Malts are now being rolled out once again. Look out for these favorites in your nearest candy store.
It's chocolate, it's peppermint, it's delicious.
Clark Bar.
Hey, this Clark bar is good.
It's a Twix!
This chocolate delight has been pleasing candy lovers for about 100 years. Consisting of a crispy peanut butter and spun taffy core, the bars are then coated in glorious milk chocolate. Originally, these bars had a caramel center instead, and they are considered the very first combination chocolate bar.
Check the authenticator spot.
Eat Clark bars.
When these chocolate bars were released, they proved to be such a success that the Clark bar was shipped out to troops during the First World War, and again in World War II. The candy proved to be a big hit with the soldiers on the front line, so much so that during World War II, the factory that made Clark bars closed down, and the government stepped in to help,
We'll take it from here.
as they saw the Clark bar as essential to the wartime effort. Because of our love of these chocolate bars, it was with great disappointment and sadness that we saw them taken off shelves. But never fear, thanks to Boyer Candy Company in Western Pennsylvania, Clark bars are back on shelves and back in our lives. They actually returned in cup form first, as Boyer released their new Clark Cups, which are peanut butter chocolate cups with a Clark's Crunch, which was a great addition. Mary Jane.
Where are my Mary Janes?
First sold as penny candies at the beginning of the 20th century, Mary Jane candies didn't change for almost a century. The recipe is an old-fashioned style peanut butter and molasses flavored taffy candy, and neither the recipe nor its packaging ever changed. The folded piece of yellow wax paper with a red stripe down the center became a symbol of the brand and great-tasting candy in general. So if Mary Jane candy hadn't changed anything about itself in almost a century, it must have been popular, right? So why did it get discontinued? All valid questions you may well be asking.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Unfortunately, Mary Jane candies were another victim of the Necco bankruptcy. Luckily, the Spangler Candy Company jumped in and saved Mary Jane from the brink of obscurity and brought her back into the spotlight. Production is already underway, and Mary Jane will be with us once again.
Had to do what I had to do.
Regal Crown.
Like no king was before.
There is nothing greater than discovering a great tasting candy. That makes it even more disappointing when a candy company decides to pull their candy from the shelves and from our lives. It might be nice to know that there is a company out there that has our backs. Iconic Candy is a company that has one goal: to bring back all the candy that we once loved and make the world happy once again. It may be a tall order, but Iconic Candy is working hard to make that dream happen. This family-owned company has a real passion for all things sweet and a desire to fill the world with candy.
I'm having candy for dinner.
The company actually started out because CEO Kenny Wyson wanted to eat his childhood candies but could no longer find them. Coming up with the idea of bringing candies back from the dead, Wyson went to work and quickly found out that it was possible to do it. Navigating the tricky licensing laws, Iconic Candy got their first break and managed to get their hands on Regal Crown candies. These hard-boiled candies were big business right up until the 1970s, which is when they started to dip in popularity and eventually production stopped. Years later, and Wyson managed to get his hands on them, and Iconic Candy was underway with its first resurrection.
Guess who's back?
Iconic Candy has brought back the sour version of these candies, with sour cherry and sour lemon having recently been released, and with sour apple and sour grape coming soon. Now a new generation can try these once popular candies.
Fine and dandy like sour candy.
Twix Cookies and Cream.
New cookies and cream Twix, another one of life's great kicks.
Every now and then, a candy combination comes along that just gets us saying, yes! And how have they never thought of that before? One such chocolate bar was the much-loved Twix Cookies and Cream. While we all know what a Twix bar is, the cookies and cream version takes the much-loved Twix bar to the next level. Instead of a caramel center, you get a rich coating of cookie icing over the top of a crunchy cookie, all wrapped up in milk chocolate. For anyone that is too young to remember this chocolate bar,
Are you serious? Are you kidding?
It's just too messed up for kids your age.
Twix Cookies and Cream was released in the 1990s and became a huge hit with everyone. Then they suddenly disappeared. No one seems to know why. While a lot of us may have been mourning the loss of this chocolate bar for decades, the sadness is now over, as Twix Cookies and Cream is back. The Mars Corporation, the company that owns Twix, has re-released this old favorite back into the world. While the actual national release day is slated for January 2020, some stores have rolled it out early, and some lucky people have already got their hands on it. Candy Buttons.
You were trying to see if I had somehow turned into candy, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
We have already mentioned the New England Confectionery Company, or Necco, as part of our list of discontinued candies that have come back. And we mention them again as another beloved candy Necco produced has found its way back. When Necco went bankrupt and all their candy was put up for auction, it was Cincinnati's Dosher's Candy Company that saved Candy Buttons. These small, rounded pegs of candy have been a staple of many kids' candy cravings since the late 1970s. The long stripes of candy-covered paper came in 3 flavors: cherry, lime, and lemon, and they had colors to match. Over the years, Candy Buttons have gone through a few management changes and were eventually taken off the shelves and put out of production. The candy shelves didn't look the same after that. Having Candy Buttons in the hands of Dosher's Candy is fitting, as not only are they the longest continually operating candy company in the US, but they are also the biggest manufacturer of candy canes. We think this is a match made in candy heaven.
No.
Reed's.
Do you know what time it is?
It's candy time.
Founded in Chicago way back in the late 19th century, Reed's Candy Sweets were a must-have treat for so many people for so many years. Made from pure cane sugar, butter, and flavoring to make their signature hard candies, the Reed's Candy Company quickly found themselves becoming the largest producer and manufacturer of butterscotch candies in the US. While the classic butterscotch flavor was their first big hit, Reed's soon developed a variety of new flavors. The company would then go on to bring out nearly 10 different flavors, many of which were a success. Originally, the hard candies in a roll pack were actually individually wrapped so that they wouldn't all stick together in one hard mass, which was smart. Over the years, Reed's Candy Company changed hands several times, and these candies struggled to find their place in the modern world.
There have been some reports of staff members eating on the floor. Do you know anything about that?
No.
As we turned into the 21st century, Reed's candies were put out to pasture once and for all. However, luck was at hand when new candy manufacturers Iconic Candy decided to bring these candies back from the dead. Having acquired the licensing rights, Iconic Candy now sells Reed's candy in 4 distinct flavors: the ever-popular original butterscotch flavor, as well as cinnamon, root beer, and peppermint flavors, which are available right now.
I want candy.
Sweethearts.
Wrote this song to wish you a happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is a magical day for so many people around the world. It's a day to shower that special someone with love and affection, or to finally tell that one person in your life exactly what they mean to you. While there are many ways and things that can show someone how you feel, nothing goes together better than Valentine's Day and candy. For many years, we have enjoyed Sweethearts candies on that special day. Little hard candies that display messages of affection and friendship. Whether you use Sweethearts as a bit of fun or to show someone your true feelings, these little candy delights have been giving Valentine's Day that little extra cute factor for decades.
Paula didn't want to do anything for Valentine's, so she's just going out to dinner with her tennis instructor, Mark.
How sad we all were when Sweethearts disappeared from the candy shelves and from our hearts. While there were other candies that tried to fill the Sweethearts void, such as M&M's Cupid Messages and Jelly Belly's Conversation Beans, nothing could quite replace Sweethearts. Due once again to Necco going out of business, the fate of Sweethearts looked set to be sealed as we bid farewell to these beloved candies. However, love is in the air again, as Sweethearts were saved by the Spangler Candy Company, and they will once more be showering our Valentine's Day with love and sweetness. Skybar.
It's no big deal.
What is better than having one chocolate bar? How about having 4 chocolate bars at the same time, each with a different filling? That's what you get from the Skybar. Introduced not long after the Second World War, the Skybar became the first molded candy bar that had different flavors for each of its sections. The flavor choices were caramel, peanut, fudge, and vanilla, all of which were wrapped in milk chocolate. While the Skybar has been off our shelves for a while,
oh come on, George, one bar.
No, there's not enough to go around.
it has come back better than ever. Being bought at an auction by gourmet hardware and cooking store Duck Soup, Skybars are once again in production and are flying back into our lives once more. While Duck Soup isn't known for selling or even making candy, they do have a great love of all things sweet and have assured fans that the Skybar will be just as good as it was. At the moment, the new Skybar can only be bought at the Duck Soup store, which is in Sudbury, Massachusetts, or on their website. But this candy bar should be making a triumphant return to stores very soon.
We've already sold out this morning of everything that we had on hand.
Bar none.
If we know it, can we have candy?
We all remember this classic chocolate bar, don't we? Back in the 1980s, the Hershey Chocolate Company was looking to introduce a new bar to their range, something they hadn't done in decades, and they came up with Bar None. Spending millions of dollars on testing and developing the new candy bar, Hershey finally released it to the world. Bar None was advertised as the Chocolate Lover's Bar, containing cocoa wafer, chocolate cream, peanuts, and a milk chocolate coating. Bar None was an immediate hit.
Have another chocolate bar.
People all over the country went crazy for this new chocolate bar. However, for some unknown reason, Hershey decided to change the Bar None by adding caramel. Needless to say that most people weren't happy, and by the late 1990s, Bar None had been discontinued forever. Or so we thought. For years, fans appealed to the Hershey Chocolate Company to bring this chocolate bar back. And for years, Hershey ignored everyone.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
When the Facebook era started, fans hadn't forgotten about this chocolate bar, and soon petitions and pleas for its return started. Hershey may have ignored us all, but one company listened. Iconic Candy. Yes, the company that loves to bring back candy has done it again with the Bar None. Fans can rejoice and relive this classic candy bar thanks to Iconic Candy. Stick around, we've got more great videos on our menu. Just tap that screen.
Please subscribe to Babbletop and hit that notification button.